Okay, then hello there. Putin lied, bro. I don't know what he lied about, but let's find out.
Вы умеете прощать?
Да.
Did he say I'll forgive you, but he didn't forgive him?
А что невозможно простить?
Предательство.
Putin just admitted to war crimes in front of the whole world. This coup and its aftermath could lead to the end of Putin and his regime.
Really?
This coup has also led to the end of my love for YouTube, since they demonetized my channel.
Damn.
But I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Lukashenko also gave a public speech today for the first time since the coup attempt. And trust me when I say this, Putin picked the wrong guy to do his negotiations. As I will get into this really soon, during the whole speech, Lukashenko described how Putin was about to make a grave mistake starting a war with Wagner and how he stepped in and saved the day. It's quite funny, in a sense. So, to start off this video by giving you guys all a laugh, first let's listen to some of Lukashenko's speeches. Then we will get into how Putin accidentally admitted to war crimes.
I mean, we already knew he was doing them.
I always believe that YouTube is not happy with me covering this war, and yesterday, they just proved that. They just striked and demonetized my second channel over a video covering Prigozhin's latest audio speech.
Really?
So, if you guys can please hit the like button below, the algorithm isn't happy with my videos, and your likes are the only thing that tells the algorithm that this video is worth watching. Alright, now let's listen to Lukashenko.
Пятница, вы знаете, у нас такой день был счастливый. Мы все готовились к празднику.
So Friday, you know, we had such a happy day. We were all getting ready to celebrate graduation day. Of course, I was pretty busy with these issues and
День выпускников. Естественно, и я был занят прилично этими вопросами. Да и как-то откровенно скажу.
Frankly speaking, receiving rare information about what was happening in Russia and Rostov and the south, I somehow didn't pay much attention. There is a war. There's a war.
Я как-то и внимания особо не обращал. Ну, война идет, мало ли что.
Going on. Well, there was already a war going on. Forget about Russia. Russia started a war. But anyways, you never know what is going on there. But by Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, I already received disturbing information about the situation in Russia. About the situation in Russia. I just added that to make it make sense.
Hi.
Bro, who is you? Why is you here? I know that I could skip you in 5 seconds, but I want to hear your loud ass hi in my ears right now. I'm trying to read. Through the FSB and our State Security Committee, I was told President Putin wants to be contacted. You're welcome. We agreed at 10:30 that we...
ФСБ и наш комитет госбезопасности мне докладывают, президент Путин хочет связаться, пожалуйста. Договорились 9:30, что мы
We'll talk to at any time convenient for him. When he spoke at 10, he called 10 minutes later and briefed me in great detail on the situation in Russia. I asked Putin.
говорим любое удобное для него время. Когда в 10 он выступил, в 10:10 позвонил.
Talk slow, or am I talking fast?
Образом
Or am I reading fast?
у меня ситуация, которая происходит в России.
I asked Putin
Задал несколько вопросов.
several questions, including about the opposition to this, and I understood that the situation was complicated. Most dangerous thing, as I understood, was that it was not. The situation was. Wait, what? What the situation was, but how it might have devolved and its consequences. That was the most dangerous thing. Also understood a brutal decision has been made.
Я также понял.
Decided or made, which was the implication of Putin's speech to liquidate. I suggest that Putin should take his time. I suggest talking to I don't know how to say bro's name, to his commanders.
Предложил Путину не торопиться. Давай, говорю, поговорим с Пригожиным, с командирами его. На что он мне сказал?
He replied me, "Look, Sasha, it is useless. He doesn't even pick up the phone. He doesn't want to talk to anybody." I asked him, "Where is he?" In Rostov.
Разговаривать не хочет. Я спрашиваю, где он? В Ростове. Я говорю, хорошо.
I said, "Okay, poor peace." is better than any war. Take your time. I'll try to get in touch with him. Once again, he said, it's no use. I said, all right, wait, we talked.
Мир лучше любой войны. Не торопись. Я попробую с ним связаться. Он в очередной раз сказал, что это бесполезно. Я говорю, хорошо, подожди.
Why bro sound like a parent trying to mediate between two of their kids for about half an hour or so, and then he informed me that he was at the front. I remember him saying, you know, it's strangely better at the front than it's ever been.
Информирован, что на фронте. Помню его слова, ты знаешь, а на фронте, как ни странно, лучше, чем когда-либо было. Я говорю, ну вот видишь, не все так.
I said, you see, it's not so sad. At 11 o'clock, I still had to find those phone numbers. I said, how can I get in touch with him? Give me the number. He said, the FSB.
Он говорит, скорее всего, ФСБ
Bro.
есть телефон.
Probably has a number. We checked. By the middle of the day, we managed to find 3 channels we could use to contact Rostov.
In a second, we'll listen to him explain his talks with Prigozhin, but first, I just want to dig deeper into what he just said. Putin said that there's no point in contacting Prigozhin because he's not picking up calls. But based on the reports, it seems like Prigozhin tried contacting Putin multiple times before starting his march.
So Putin isn't
Those
picking
attempts
up?
were blocked, and I'm guessing they were blocked by Shoigu or his allies. This seems like a really big deal. Putin's staff is making decisions about what Putin needs to know and what he doesn't.
That's not good.
Those decisions by his staff are what led to Prigozhin's assault. This kind of seems like Putin is losing control of his own people. They are acting like a rogue entity. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how this affects Putin's rule and his war in Ukraine. All right, let's listen to the next part.
В 11
o'clock,
Путин меня предупреждал, не возьмет трубку, он мгновенно снял трубку. Вот
His general
звонит,
called him,
решили
give him,
разговаривать.
will you talk to him? I heard them talking. He picked up the phone. The conversation was aerophobic.
Сам лучше буду, но я слышал.
Virginia was, I don't even know how to say a
Взял
bunch of these
трубку.
names.
Разговор, эйфория. У Евгения полная эйфория.
Totally euphoric. I don't know if I said that right. I probably said it wrong. We talked the first round for about 30 minutes in swear words exclusively. There were 10 times more swear words. I analyzed it later. They're normal.
Разговаривали первый раунд минут 30 на матерном языке. Исключительно. Слов матерных я потом уже проанализировал, было в 10 раз больше, чем нормальная лексика. Ну,
Vocabulary. He, of course, apologized and started to tell me in swear words. I wonder how to start those negotiations with him. The guys had just come from...
Извинился и начал мне, я говорю, матерными словами рассказывать. А я думаю, с чего зайти к нему, чтобы начать эти переговоры, так сказать. Ребята только с фронта. Они видели...
The front. They had seen thousands of their dead fellows. The guys are very offended, especially the commanders. As I understood, they were very influenced on it.
Тысячи своих погибших ребят. Ребята очень обиженные, особенно командиры. И, как я понял, они очень влияли, ну, это предварительно вычислил, на самого
calculation by himself. Yes,
да,
he
он
is
такой,
such,
знаете,
you know,
героический
hero
парень,
guy, but he
но на
was
него
pressured and
оказывали
influenced very
давление и
much by
влияние
those who
очень
led
те,
the
кто
assault.
руководили штурмовыми отрядами.
So even
и
he
видели
wasn't in
эту
charge?
смерть.
Assault groups and saw those deaths, and so in the situation coming out of their to Rostov in such half rage state, I have this dialogue with him, started to clarify. So basically, if I'm getting this right, both of them don't even have control of the people around them, because the people around bro, right, were mad that about everybody that's dying or whatnot, or their brothers that are dying. And they were like, let's go to the capital. You have to do something about this. We can't keep fighting like this. And then Putin's guys are stopping him from getting information that he needs to know.
И вот в этой ситуации выскочил
Or
оттуда
are telling him
в
lies.
Ростов
Maybe.
в таком полубешеном состоянии. Я с ним веду этот диалог. Я начал уточнять. Я говорю, ты что, убил
Did you
кого-то
kill
там?
any of the civilians there? The military who didn't oppose you? He replied, we didn't hurt anyone. I swear to you, we took it over. And that's what it seems like straight peaceful.
Из гражданских,
That's what he's been saying at
военных,
least.
которые тебе не противостояли. Александр Ильич, я вам клянусь, мы никого не тронули. Мы заняли штаб.
Just took over the headquarters. I am here, and it turned out to be true. It is very important. Notice, it was very important that they did not harm anyone by entering. Yeah.
Вот я тут нахожусь, там и так далее.
Most of the people just walked to the sideline. They just got out the way.
Это было очень важно.
I think that's what bro said in
Это было
one of his
очень
other
важно,
videos.
что они, зайдя в Ростов, никого не тронули.
It's interesting that Lukashenko says that Prigozhin was influenced by his commanders,
Yeah.
Wagner unit leaders who were on the front line and had seen their fellow soldiers die. So it makes sense that their actions were filled with rage. But stories start to contradict themselves when you compare them to what Putin said yesterday. In yesterday's address, Putin called Wagner soldiers brave patriots who were fooled by Prigozhin in his attempted coup.
But now it
So,
seems like
according
they
to
were doing
Putin,
it.
Prigozhin was controlling the soldiers. And according to Lukashenko, Prigozhin was being controlled. Quite the opposite. Anyways, Lukashenko's speech was long and he kept going on and on about his role. I don't want to bore you guys with the whole thing, so I'll quickly go over the last important bit. I said, don't make a hero out of me in any case. Neither of me, nor of Putin, nor of Prigozhin, because we missed the situation. And then we thought that it would dissolve. But it did not dissolve. And two people who fought on the front collided. There are no heroes in this case. If Russia collapses, we will all be left under the rubble. We will all die. This quote kind of proves the true motivation behind why Lukashenko intervened in the coup and negotiated a compromise. He didn't want to lose his power in Belarus. As I've covered in previous videos, Lukashenko is the longest ruling dictator in Europe. Back in 2020, when Lukashenko won the Belarusian presidential election by a landslide, all the while
Cheated,
being
of
highly
course.
unpopular amongst the Belarusian citizens, massive protests broke out all across Belarus, and it seemed like this might be the end of Lukashenko's rule.
Damn, Putin, help him
That's when
settle
Lukashenko
them
asked his
down.
close friend Putin for
Yeah.
help. And Putin
I
sent
remember
the
watching this
Russian
video, I think.
army to calm down the situation in Belarus. Ever since then, Lukashenko has kept his rule in Belarus and has done more than enough to return the favor to Putin. The Russian army has been able to use Belarus to attack Ukraine from another front. And there's also news of Russian nuclear weapons being stationed in Belarus.
Oh, wow.
Now, Lukashenko can't have his buddy Putin lose power in Russia,
Of course.
because if Putin loses power,
He
Lukashenko
has no
knows
friend.
that he'll be next.
Of course.
So,
He's getting
he
packed
was
up
at the
first.
forefront of the negotiations when Prigozhin launched his coup against the Kremlin. On top of this, Lukashenko received a hefty reward for helping Putin. Under Putin's decision, Belarus will pay a very low price for Russian gas until 2031. Hopefully that makes sense behind why he's so interested in Putin holding on to power. Soon after Lukashenko's speech, Putin gave a public speech of his own. So now let's go over what he said. Listen for yourself. Putin
Please
admitting
let it be in
to
English.
war crimes.
I don't feel like reading.
Между тем хочу отметить,
Damn it, bro. I don't want to read no more, bro. I'm tired of reading. I'm watching a video to watch a video, not to read, bro. By the way, I want to know something. I want all of us all to know about it. Bro, we already know bro's been doing war crimes because when they've been reporting on the news, they're like, oh yeah, he's been striking schools and hospitals and buildings and houses where people or civilians would be at. Like, we already know this. I don't know. You admitting it doesn't change anything. You just saying it. It's confirming what we already know. Like, goddamn, I don't feel like reading, bro. I gotta read now, bro.
хочу, чтобы тоже все знали об этом. Содержание всей группы
Everything
Вагнера
what group was
полностью
entirely provided by the state.
обеспечено.
Oh, so everything that was in other states was what he did. So, I thought he was just talking about the Ukraine war crimes. He's talking about like them other war crimes that this channel basic what? Basic ideas? Business basics could even upload and talk about clearly on his second channel. Damn, bro, busted 4K. Never mind. Keep it going. I'll keep reading.
Из Министерства
From
обороны
defense ministry, from the state budget, we fully finance this group.
мы
You don't want to say
полностью
that, buddy.
финансировали.
Ooh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh
Вот
no.
только
Oh, from May
только
2022
с мая
until May
22 года по май
2023.
23
Bro, who I feel like his guys, the people next to him, are setting him up from not telling him that bro is calling to letting him go out there and say this. They ready to pack him up, bro.
на денежное содержание.
The state paid financially support and incentive payments to this group worth $86.2 1.62 billion rubles, 1 billion. So it's just, bro, $1
и
billion.
стимулирующие
I'm
выплаты
guessing it's $1 billion.
государство заплатило компании «Вагнер» 86 миллиардов 262 миллиона рублей. Из них денежные
Of this
содержания
money, there was 70.38 billion rubles, 824.9 million in financial support, and 15.87 billion, 186 million for incentive payments.
70 миллиардов 384, стимулирующие выплаты 15 миллиардов 877, страховые выплаты 110 миллиардов
And we
100.
spent 110 billion rubles, 1.3 billion was on insurance payments. Damn. You know what I wonder, bro? Like bro is doing all these war crimes and admitting to it, right? I feel like it's after the war that bro has to like pay these war crimes, but like bro, if you get hit with like because I remember like I heard that in like World War II or World War One, after the World War, that Russia had to pay or Germany had to pay, whichever state it was, I don't care right now. I'm pretty sure it was Germany, but they had to pay like reparations and stuff. What if they're like, no, we're not paying? Are they gonna go to another war? I mean, like, what do you do then if they're like, we're not going to pay, and we're just gonna move on? Like, I don't know, bro. All these war crimes, bro, is gonna have to pay for. But he's like, yeah, no, I'm not paying for those. Like, who's gonna hold him accountable?
79 миллионов. При этом
And yet,
собственник
the owner of
компании
Concord
«Конкорд»
Catering
через
through army
военторг
supply surplus,
при
despite the fact that Wagner is very maintenance vested on the soldiers of the state, bro. I can't talk.
всем том, что само содержание
Shoulders of the state.
Вагнера было на плечах государства, за
In just a year, the owner of the Concord company through army surplus got and earned from the state.
собственник компании «Конкорд» через военторг получил, заработал от государства, поставляя
Supplying food products and providing food services to the
продукты
army.
питания и оказывая услуги по питанию в армии. Заработал
He earned 80 billion rubles, 937.6 million.
80 миллиардов рублей. Содержание
The state
полностью взял
took-
на себя государство,
The state completely took over maintenance.
а часть
And part of this whole group, this company, Concord, at the same time earned 80 billion rubles.
вот этой всей группы, эта компания «Конкорд», в это же самое время заработали 80 миллиардов рублей. Но
But
надеюсь, что
out there during
в
this
ходе
work,
этих работ никто ничего не
no
украл.
one stole anything,
Или, скажем так,
or let's say
украл
they stole less.
поменьше. Но, безусловно,
But
мы
obviously
будем,
we'll
конечно,
deal
с
with
этим
all
совсем
that, of
разбираться.
course.
As you just heard, Putin admits to paying the Wagner Group $1 billion for its help in the war. Now, doesn't that imply that the Wagner Group was representing the Russian government in the war?
Yes, it does. Yes, it
Does
does.
that in turn make the Russian government responsible for all the war crimes Wagner Group had committed?
Yes, it does. Yes, it
Now,
does.
we all know that the Wagner Group was working for the Russian government.
Of course.
But officially, Russia never admitted this before.
Of course.
So
Now they
they
did in
could have
4K.
claimed plausible deniability. They can just say that the Wagner Group was an independent entity.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers.
And Post Malone.
Ooh, I haven't had canes in a long
One
time.
love.
I did that.
Is that Post Malone?
And they didn't
It was.
represent Russia officially. So hopefully this accidental admission by Putin has some consequences for Russia for the war crimes that Wagner had committed.
Of course it
I
will.
highly doubt that'll be the case, but hey, a man can hope,
Oh,
right?
Never mind.
By the way, did you guys catch at the end how Putin tried to sneak in, I hope they stole less? Might be that could be a hint of future corruption charges against Prigozhin in case he tries to act up again. The Kremlin gave him immunity for the treason he committed, but that doesn't stop them from bringing fake corruption charges. One thing I've noticed about authoritarian governments is that everyone is corrupt, but you are only charged with corruption once you betray the people in power.
That's
Xi
crazy.
Jinping has used the same strategy in China to silence his opposition.
Really?
Putin is probably doing the same thing here. Talking about charges against Prigozhin. The FSB announced it has dropped its investigation into Wagner's armed uprising because its participants seized the activities directly aimed at committing the crime. After that, Russia's Ministry of Defense announced Wagner is preparing to hand over its heavy weaponry to the army. This is definitely great news for Ukraine. One of the most combat-ready and brutal military units in Russia has been eliminated. To all the people saying that Russia is just repositioning Wagner to Belarus so they can attack Kyiv, this kind of kills your point. How is Wagner supposed to attack from Belarus if they are leaving all their weaponry in Russia? And before you go down and comment that the whole announcement could be a lie and that Wagner is going to take the weapons to Belarus, let me remind you again that we will be able to see all of this from satellites. There's no point in lying from Russia's side.
Yeah, technology
Based on these
advanced.
two announcements, it seems like both sides are holding up their end of the deal. Lukashenko confirmed that Prigozhin is now in Belarus, and FSB has dropped the treason charges. But it looks like Putin doesn't want to fulfill all points of the deal. Remember I mentioned in earlier videos that, according to Prigozhin's announcement, part of the deal was that Shoigu resigns from the Ministry of Defense. That doesn't seem to be happening, at least not yet. Yesterday we saw Shoigu sitting at a cabinet meeting with Putin, and today we saw Shoigu waiting with the military while Putin gave his speech. It could be that Putin will slowly remove Shoigu from an official position to not seem weak in front of the Russian people. He doesn't want to give off a message that he can be strong-armed into other people's wills. I guess we'll have to wait and see if Shoigu stays or goes. And adding on to the story, Lukashenko said that Wagner can stay in Belarus, but they will no longer be funded by Russia or the Belarus governments. So either they keep funding themselves, or a more likely scenario is that Wagner will leave for Africa and the Middle East, where they will have a highly profitable business of starting civil wars and taking control of third world countries' resources. And last but not least, I want to share the story of YouTube demonetizing my second channel. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, I decided to upload some of my coverage to my second channel where I have help from my other team members. Yesterday, I decided to upload a video about Prigozhin's audio speech that he published to his Telegram. This video was just unlisted on my channel, meaning I hadn't even published it yet, and out of nowhere, I received a community strike, which doesn't really make any sense.
Damn.
There are hundreds of news organizations who have covered the same story, but an independent YouTuber like me tries to do the same, and YouTube strikes me. Then, minutes after the strike, I received an email saying that my whole channel was demonetized, and it will stay demonetized for 3 months as, I guess, some sort of punishment.
Damn.
Which is just crazy. I'm hoping this is all just a big mistake, and that's why I made a thread on Twitter to get YouTube's attention so they can fix it quickly. So if you guys can take a second and go retweet that post so it can get more awareness, that would help me out a lot. In the meantime, I've decided to continue posting on the second channel as usual, like nothing has changed. And I've decided to launch some merch to help fund the channel. Here's the design in front of you guys. If you like the merch and you want to support my coverage, you can buy it by using the link in the description. Your purchase will help fund the second channel until YouTube fixes their mistake. Thank you guys so much for your support.
Bro, going in with the facts. YouTube better get this straightened out. Yeah, see, I subscribe, so you guys subscribe to me and you guys subscribe to him. It's really sad how only big news channels can cover certain topics. Keep going for, I think the reason they do that, right, is because they want to be able to cover some stuff. Because, like, did you guys know where it's like, if you type in, like, friends on Instagram, it's, like, all colorful and beautiful and shit. And then you type in friends on TikTok, and then it's, like, a war and shit going on. It's kind of like that, huh? Where, like, people want to be able to control what you see or what you hear and whatnot. But, yeah. Like, subscribe. See you guys later. Hope you have a good day or night, and bye.